Hey everyone, and welcome back to Authentic Worth Publishing, bringing worth back into you through storytelling and book writing. I'm really humbled to say that we have grown so much on this channel. From the time we started to where we are today, we are so grateful because if not for you, we wouldn't be where we are today. So a massive thank you for the support, for the subscribers, for the comments and the contributions. They really do go a long way. In today's video, I want to talk about a topic that one of our subscribers recommended to us to discuss, and that is how to choose a title for your book to attract readers. This is a very interesting topic because even though I don't believe it's spoken about a lot in the publishing world, it is very important to know what title you want for that book. Now, when it comes to titles, especially as first-time authors, and depending on the genre that you're looking to write your book in, whether it be fiction, non-fiction, or children's books, you need to think about your target audience. I always discuss that first. Even in my previous speaking engagement, I spoke about, as an author, when you want to present your work, you need to ensure that you know your target audience. Now, your target audience are those people who you believe will invest and read the book, buy the book, and recommend it to others. They are the people that you serve with your story. So when it comes to finding and choosing a title for your book, you need to ask yourself, what is my current market going through at this moment in time? So how can I be the problem solver to what they are going through? So for example, you might be thinking of writing a book regarding financial well-being. A lot of people right now may really be struggling with that. And therefore, a title can come up to say 10 ways to banish fear in finances. This is just an example, or how to get your money right. You have to find a title that is catchy and quick and punchy to meet the needs of that target audience. So when it comes to finding a title, you also need to be creative. Find out ways that bring light to your book. And also do your research to make sure that there are no other titles that are like yours. It is very important that we must remember that you don't want to copy someone else's title or have the same title. Unfortunately, there are titles out there that are the same, but they all speak to different target audiences. For me, when I write my books, the first thing I do, I get inspiration. I find out what title really fits the season of this book. And I also look at each chapter of my book and then find ways to create a solid title. I then go online to do my research to make sure that no one else has that title. And if someone does have that title, guess what I will do? I may adjust my title. So I remember my first book, It's Time to Heal. I wanted to name it A Time to Heal or Time to Heal. But I saw that someone already published a book in the title, A Time to Heal. But I typed It's Time to Heal and thankfully nothing came up. So therefore I was able to take that title. And that is what really helped me to not only build my confidence, but to find my audience. Because at that time, a lot of people were going through brokenness. And I knew that I needed something punchy, which is called It's Time to Heal. And that book is one of our best sellers to date, which is currently on Amazon. And then after, I wanted to add more effect by having a subtitle, which is called A Woman's Journey to Self-Discovery and Freedom. And I love this book. As a first-time author, remember, I didn't know what to expect. I joined online networking events, I joined in-person events, and I was very encouraged and inspired to do all that I needed to do to really get myself out there. And therefore, I was encouraged to not only write a book, but to share my story. And because of all the things that I was going through during university, which you will read in the book, I knew that it was time for me to heal. And it was also time for me to heal my community through sharing my story. So that is one of a really good, effective way to find out how you can choose a title for your audience. Your audience will always be your number one. And if you're struggling to find your audience, you need to perhaps do a bit more market research to find out what your market needs. And that could be speaking to close family and friends and finding out what they're going through. but it also means understanding why you're writing your book. You don't just want to write a book for the sake of it. You want to write a book to make sure you are providing solutions to real problems in the world. A book is not just for your own pride and joy, it's for the community to benefit from. So when you don't have an effective title that is punchy, you are potentially going to lose opportunities of reaching the right people. And that's why, if you are struggling, it is important to be in a community of authors and writers to really build up that confidence in finding out how to secure that title. And this is one of the reasons why we have our one-to-one coaching accountability sessions for those who may not want to be out in the open to meet others. But then we also have our Authentic Worth membership as well. And that one is for writers, business owners, creatives to come together and learn and share ideas with one another. It is so important that as we are growing in our writing journeys, that we learn how to do it with others. And if you are interested in joining our membership, we will be glad to link all the information in the description bar below for you to read and join. And also for a one-to-one bespoke accountability coaching call, we will also be happy to help you with that as well. Moving on now, I want to talk about why people struggle to find the right title. When there's just so many thoughts in the mind and you're not specifically writing down what you believe fits the season of your book, it's easy to have so much overload. And we also know, ladies and gents, that writer's block is very real. And that is something that as a business, we don't want our authors to carry along with them. So for this reason, we want you to be encouraged that even though writer's block can come, it doesn't mean that you can't proceed with writing that book, let alone having a title. Some of our writers already have titles and they haven't even written the book yet. Some authors have written their book, but they struggle with the title. Either way, for the fact that they have started something, it is so good. And I really encourage you that if you haven't started writing down your ideas or brainstorming, please do that. Please make sure you take the time to release every thought in your mind and write what comes to you there and then. Don't hold back. Because when you have an idea, and this happens a lot, sometimes when I'm getting on the train, I might get an idea. And do you know what I do? I write it down on my phone so that I don't forget. There have been moments in my life where I have forgotten and it was not cool. I mean, there was one word I remembered and I forgot it. Or one sentence, I forgot it. So I think to myself, Esther, going forward, anytime you have ideas, inspirations, visions, downloads, write it down. And make it plain. You don't need to sugarcoat it. If there's something that you can see and that gives you a vision, then write it down. Some people, they get their visions when they're in the shower. Other people, they get their visions of books when they're cooking. Other people, they get their visions when they're taking a walk. Regardless of how that vision of that title comes, you must write it down. And also, don't be too hard on yourself. I know that it's easy to have so many ideas, but you need to condense them into a few. I would say maximum, if you can have at least 3 titles, but preferably 2 titles, and choose between both, that will be so much easier. I don't like giving myself information overload. I'm very strategic and skilled at narrowing the titles down. For my 9th book, The Real Stories of Mothers, is a book that came with 5 titles. Now, these 5 titles came because as a new mum, I didn't want to rush and I wanted to get as much experience that I could to find the perfect title that could really resonate and hit the community. So this title is called The Real Stories of Mothers. At first, I was really heavy on the weight of motherhood, but I thought as a new mother and someone that is learning, I really sensed that that title would be for someone who has been in motherhood for a certain amount of years, let's say 20 plus years, because that is a good amount of time to be a mother. Whereas myself, I'm coming up to a year, I knew I had to include people who are older than me and exceedingly experienced. So the subtitle for this book is called The Powerful and Lived Stories of Mothers Who Persevere for Future Generations. So this book entails new mothers who are in their first few months to first few years to those who are advanced and seasoned. And I need that the title speaks to every mother from all walks of life, because it's the real stories of motherhood. It's the real stories of pregnancy. And I do encourage you, for those who haven't yet got this book, to get your copy. The feedback has been so humbling, and I do encourage you, for those who want to learn about motherhood, to really get yours. And if you have a friend that is also pregnant or due to be pregnant, please do bless them with this book. It will really help them. Just to add on to this, we had 2 book launches for this book earlier in the summer and in the autumn. And usually for the books that I write, I don't tend to have 2 book launches in 1 year. But for this specific topic, I had to, because I know that there are many people who are wanting to learn about motherhood. And now that we are in a community where we're growing, we want to do as much as we can to pour back into new mothers who are also on the journey. And of course, for us as well, to learn from existing mothers. So this title came at the right time. Even though writing this book, I was pregnant, I was still able to fulfill it and complete it. And now I want to encourage you that your title should resonate with the season that you're in. Despite the season that you're in, let's say you were in a season before where you lacked confidence, but now you've built that confidence. You can then write a book about how you felt during those moments where you were lacking confidence, and therefore share your journey, share your story with others who are currently in that season of lack of confidence. So in other words, your title doesn't have to be complicated, but it has to be relatable. Even for fiction books as well, even though fiction isn't real, there are some titles that really draw readers to them. So a book that I'm currently reading called Sunday Morning is a fiction book. Now, when I read it, it feels so much like a non-fiction book, but the author knows why they wrote it as a fiction. And it still speaks, because not only is it such a beautiful title, but the color of the book, the way it speaks to the community, is so enriching. And this is why it's important to not only just do your research on any book, but find a book that truly resonates with the season that you're in. Find a book that speaks for you so that the book will meet that need. So even though I read a lot of books, I tend to get books that have very good titles. And I also love to get books according to the season that I'm in. And I know that when I read that book, I'm hoping and believing that the book will change my life, that it will bring about some form of transformation. So at the moment, I'm reading Sunday Morning because one of our self-published authors will be doing her book launch November the 1st. So by the time you watch this video, the book launch would have been done. And after that, I've got a few other books that I'm reading. All these books are relating to the season that I'm in, and also the title that attracts me to get it. So you have to ask yourself, what season am I in? Should I just get all the books that I want? You may have to take your time. This is not just about buying many books, which is, of course, as writers, we want you to support the writing that we do, but we also value you enough that you need to get the book that fits the season of your life. And that's one of the reasons why when I think about all my 9 books, the titles are It's Time to Heal, Completion, From Glory to Glory, The Power of a Forward-Thinking Mindset, which is one of our best sellers to date, Confident Face, Abundant Progress, The Becoming Woman, The Cost of Intentional Marriage, and finally our 9th book, The Real Stories of Mothers. All these books resonate to different seasons of life. And all our books can be found on authenticworth.com/books. When you read all those titles, I really do guarantee a few of them will speak to you in the season that you're in. If I wasn't the writer of all the books that I've published, I would buy them all, because I know all those titles has resonated with me in certain seasons, are resonating with me now, and will more likely resonate with me in the future. So take your time. Analyze yourself, know your target audience, and know the season that you're in order to choose the right title for your book. And remember to do your research. It is so important to not neglect that. That research is key. It may take some time, but I guarantee you when you do it properly and you do it with ease, you will surely see the ideas come and it will be natural. I don't want any of us to struggle with the title, and I know sometimes it can happen because there's just so many ideas. Even with some of our accountability coaching sessions, there's so many ideas that our authors have. But as a business, we let them know that, look, we're here for you. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Take your time to find the right title, and the right title will come to you at the appointed time. So thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope that these top tips have helped. And if you are still in need of support in not only finding a title or choosing a title, but wanting to publish your book or learn more about how we work and how we can support you and your story, please email us at info@authenticworth.com. For manuscript submissions, please send us your manuscripts to submissions@authenticworth.com. And to find out more about our products and our services, you can also visit the website on authenticworth.com. Till next time, I look forward to catching up with you in our next video. Take care and all the best for your writing journeys. Bye bye.